Zimbabwe, a landlocked country located in Southern Africa, is a progressively developing country, richly endowed with fertile lands and a great deck of minerals, where agriculture forms the base of our economy. Our hope lies in our land. With a 91.1% literacy rate, the highest in the sub-Saharan Africa, and a vibrant education system, which makes human capital our most treasured resource.
Sadly, education does not translate to employment. Only 11% of Zimbabwe's economically active people are formally employed, living an estimated 84% as informally employed, most scratching out a living as vendors and traders, and 5% are unemployed.
The people of Zimbabwe struggle to stay afloat as we are overwhelmed by these economic difficulties, high rates of unemployment, imbalance of trade, financial constraints, and erratic pockets are amongst our greatest challenges. We have the resources, we have the human capital to exploit, but the greatest solution lies in the mobilizers, the entrepreneurs, the ones that are willing to make a difference.
Our Enactus team endeavored during the past year to work with the average Zimbabwean and equip them with the drive to use resources available to them to earn a living with dignity. We strived to instill in our communities the need to seize entrepreneurship and leave a legacy and find homegrown solution to a general problem being faced by all Zimbabweans, unemployment.
This year, our Enactus team formulated our own original model, which we used as a tool to execute our actions. We named it the 3D model, as it consists of 3 stages: to distinguish, to develop, and to deploy. We present 2 of the 3 projects we did in our Enactus year: Stella Commune and Kotre. My name is Leighton Gabida.
I'm Caroline Ungwe.
Petronella Mnakandafa is my name.
My name is Odias Chibaya.
In 2015, we were approached by Campion Mtarisi, an avid entrepreneur who owned a quail farming business. A quail is a small, nutritious bird that is fast-growing with a maturity of 6 weeks and a fast egg-laying rate. His business had a potential for growth, but there was great need to restructure, and so we came up with our first project, Kotre, creating opportunities through rebuilding enterprises.
Guided by our 3D model, we carried out our first stage, to distinguish, by undertaking a needs assessment. We identified that the company had expertise in quail farming, training, and had potential for growth. However, it had a chaotic administration, high operational costs, a lack of manpower, and underutilized opportunities.
In order to reduce high operational costs, Enactus CUT came up with a solution to eliminate the need to import incubators. We converted decommissioned refrigerators into incubators.
The team sourced for decommissioned refrigerators from a local beverage distributor who ensured that there are no R11 and R12 CFC gases. We manipulated the refrigeration system to produce heat and moisture by replacing the cooling system with a water boiler. We replaced the shelves with egg trays, a turning system, and a monitoring and regulation system. And to cater for the erratic power cuts, we incorporated solar and gas as alternative sources of energy.
Qualcomm has saved up to $4,750 that was being consumed by importing incubators. To date, 5 incubators with a carrying capacity of 6,000 eggs and an 80% hatch rate have been produced at a cost of $150 each.
Qualcomm, together with the Enactus Cut, toured the country, taking people through a series of workshops on quail farming, basic bookkeeping, and marketing.
Seeing how many people wanted to venture into quail farming but did not have the resources to do so, we came up with a financial system that would allow Qualcomm to supply week-old chicks and birds its clients on credit, then buy back the matured birds and eggs. In implementing this, we engaged a key partner, Safe Credit Microfinance, to provide the order finance facility. To date, Qualcomm has sold on credit $1,200 worth of birds and eggs and has realized a profit of $465. And through its partnership with the Core Storage Commission within Zimbabwe, the birds have been slaughtered and distributed to their retailers.
From the workshops conducted, 20 participants started quail breeding businesses, which created 38 jobs that are now utilizing Qualcomm's hatchery and breeding services.
The company has further diversified its operations to include pen making. This has enabled them to be less dependent on one field, but rather benefit from other services they can offer to others.
Using a world ranking tool, we noted that there was an increase in revenue from $10,200 to $16,575. There was an increase in profits from $1,750 to $7,922. There was an increase in assets to 2 locally manufactured incubators, 2 vehicles to assist in distribution, and the employment of 4 additional workers to assist in operations.
We realized that to date, the 20 businesses that Qualcomm was mentoring have recorded an average profit of $5,000 since they were established. And Qualcomm continues to oversee the smooth running of these newly established businesses.
Campion has utilized the opportunity in his industry's value chain. He can now spend more quality time with his family. Qualcomm has also assisted other entrepreneurs by mentoring them to start their own small quail farming businesses.
In Zimbabwe, an average of 6,000 kgs worth of decommissioned refrigerators are recorded at landfills quarterly, adding up to a global estimate of 6 billion kgs, also releasing harmful CFC gases. Through the company, 5 refrigerators have been converted into incubators, thus 650 kgs of diverted landfill. Indeed, through Qualcomm, Campion has seized entrepreneurship and has created business opportunities for other entrepreneurs.
My name is Shim Shodawa. Ever since I started working for Qualcomm, I've been earning a decent living to support my siblings.
I am Mrs. Warikandwa and I breed quail birds. From this project, I earn a decent income to feed and send my grandchildren to school.
I am a quail breeder assisted by Qualcomm. The project has helped me earn a good income to support my family.
When we met Campion, he was a stressed man with an enterprise that had high operational costs, underutilized opportunities, lack of manpower, and underutilized opportunities. But through the incubators that we introduced, he was able to lower his operational costs. And through the systems that we enabled him to see, he made sure that he employed 4 people, put his administration in order, and applied entrepreneurial action to create 20 businesses, which in turn created 38 jobs.
My name is Campion. Welcome to Glenview community-based project. My company is called Qualcomm. I started this company alone. Both senators came along. They helped me in reducing my administration costs. So they developed a gas option for us. So we are using gas and electricity. I employed about 4 people that are working here and 6 people that are working at the farm. Both senators really helped us quite a lot in terms of employment to others. So I want to thank both senators for everything that they've done for us.
The second community that we worked with is the Wachkoka community, located in the rural area of Mondoro, an area richly endowed with fertile lands that support horticulture. Every household has an average of 16 fruit trees, predominantly guava trees. In 2014, some of the individual households in the community decided to exploit their produce and sold guavas worth $7,400 to a local company on credit. However, due to prevailing economic conditions, the debt was not serviced. And because the community did not have any legal support, they failed to recover a single cent. Let us hear what Mr. Wachkoka has to say about this.
My name is Regis Wachkoka, and I lead the Wachkoka Fruit and Vegetables Cooperative. Before the Enactus team came, we used to sell our guavas as individuals to fruit processing companies. Enactus encouraged us to start selling our guavas as a group. This was a good idea because in past experiences selling as individuals, we lost about $7,400 to untrustworthy companies. This created a lot of challenges for us because now we couldn't pay school fees for our children.
Because of this experience, the community lost hope and returned to subsistence farming. Our Enactus Cut team saw an opportunity to help this community resuscitate this venture and expand on their efforts. Guided by our model, we carried out our first stage to distinguish the needs assessment by consulting 6 of the community elders, and then a group session with 30 community members, and finally a door-to-door follow-up and 7 households. We noted that because the community had a basic household income of $23 per month, they were struggling to send their children to school and could only afford a meal a day. We noted that the community also had opportunities they wished to exploit, but they had an unwillingness to trust outside stakeholders.
A series of workshops and interactive sessions were held with 87 participants to restore unity of purpose, to give confidence, and impart business knowledge. The involvement of the community allowed them to air out their grievances. Enactus CUT, together with the community, came up with a solution to form a company that would spearhead as a trading partner. The Wachkoka Fruit and Vegetable Supplies Private Limited Company was formed and registered, and our training sessions assisted them to come up with their own strategic plans, including a business plan and a marketing plan.
A company representative council made up of village elders and 2 Enactus members was formed to superintend the formation of other operational structures like production and marketing. This company representative council mitigated all insecurities of trading at a household level and allowed the community to focus on productivity. The company representative council also addressed the issue of risk transference. Previously, the Ochkoko community was underpaid due to guavas being damaged during transportation. This underpayment was illegal because, as governed by the common law of Zimbabwe, risk is passed to the buyer at the conclusion of any sales contract. Therefore, a clause was added in the contracts to transfer risk to the buyer from the moment the fruits were deployed on the trucks.
The CRC clearly defined the market segments. To determine the right market for the fruits, the guavas were graded, and the bulk of the fruits were for grade B. This is appropriate for processors. The remaining produce was packaged and distributed to fresh produce markets and vendors within and outside the community.
We approached best food processing companies with the graded produce. This is when a fruitful relationship between these 2 companies was established. This relationship resulted in the negotiations of prices and contracts, enhanced quality control, and ease of trade.
To increase production capacity, the company engaged with the councillor of the Wachkoka ward to source for additional land to set up a fruit tree plantation. The company was granted 15 hectares of land on a trial basis to roll out this program, and an additional 5 hectares to build a small plant, as they are interested in further diversifying into value addition. This project is being undertaken with the assistance of our university, the Chinua University of Technology. The company has also ensured its constant income by selling vegetables, lemons, and nachos when guavas are off-season.
Since the inception of this project, the company harvested 151 tons of guavas, generating a revenue of $10,500 and an additional $8,200 from the sale of the fruits and vegetables, generating a revenue of $18,700. Comparing with the information from the needs assessment, the 180 directly impacted families that used to make an average household income of $23 per month are now making $116.50, a 406% increase. As a direct result, these families are now able to afford basic household costs such as school fees and 3 meals a day.
In our post-assessment, we noted that the community societal well-being has improved, and they now saw opportunities from their environment. Also, the Enactus team noticed high levels of confidence reflected when the CRC negotiated for their contracts. Youths are now contributing positively by taking up other tasks within the company.
The producers of the Wachkoka community had always been exploited because they lacked a basic knowledge of their common law rights. Through our intervention, they now operate under contracts which protect them, and they now own a registered entity.
We've continued to empower the community to continue to reinvest in their land by planting more trees and utilizing the rotten food for composting, as it is important for their market gardening.
Before our intervention, the households of Wachkoka were earning an average $23 per month, which made it difficult for them to send their children to school and barely afford more than a meal a day. After gaining their trust and assisting them to form their own company that trades in fruits and vegetables, these families now use entrepreneurial action to trade together, earning an average $116.50, enough for school fees for a year and 3 meals a day.
Because of the Enactus team from Chinua University, they have helped us very well with our project, and now our produce is bringing in good and decent income. When the Enactus team came to assist, things took a turn for the better, and now we can afford to feed our families and send kids to school. Now when we sell our guava produce, companies pay on time. We can now pay school fees and send our kids to school. Feeding our families has also become so easy.
Our project is running in a 3-year phase. This year, we've begun expanding to surrounding villages. We estimate that this will double production output. And leveraging on our partnership with Zimtrade, we intend to export some of our produce, increasing our revenue to over 47,000 and directly impacting an additional 120 families. The returns from this year will be channeled towards the construction of a processing plant. In our 3rd year, we're going to replicate this model to similar communities in Zimbabwe in partnership with Zimtrade, starting with Hwanda Valley, where there's an estimated $4.5 million worth of bananas. In our motive to change the world in the best way that we could, Stella Commune and Cadre address some of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals.
With a combined revenue of over $35,000, direct impact of 184, and indirect impact of 3,928, we helped in the fight against extreme poverty in all its forms.
In promoting sustainable agriculture through Stella Commune, we managed to protect, promote, and restore life on land in our effort to end hunger.
With families in Mondoro Wachikoka now able to pay school fees, we created learning opportunities for quality education.
The Company Representative Council of the Wachikoka community empowered 6 women to make public decisions. This was our push for gender equality.
Qualcomm and the 20 ventures it empowered have created decent work and economic growth for 42 individuals to support their families.
In converting decommissioned refrigerators into incubators, we played our part in applying technology towards innovation and the fight against climate change.
With over 12,000 invested hours, this was our own way of doing small things in a great way.
2016.
Hi guys, thanks for your presentation. My question is related to your Stella Commune project. You seem to put structure and processes in place for your local community. What are your plans for the expansion and scalability? I know you talked about a partnership, but what structures and processes are you putting in place to ensure the same success going forward?
Thank you for the question. The structures that we've put in place is first we made the community form a community representative council. So we are continuously going to be doing training sessions with the community. There are 2 Enactus members that are within this council, and there will be ongoing consultations, board meetings. So
Thank you, guys. I really enjoyed it. Just quick question on the jobs created through the Stella Commune. I saw the income numbers. How many jobs are created, and how many families saw those increases in incomes?
Thank you for the question. The Company Representative Council consists of 6 people, which are the women we were talking about who make up the Company Representative Council. Those are the people with jobs. But the families directly impacted through this community company are 180 families which registered to sell their fruits through the company. So it's 180 families.
Thank you.
I had a question about the Cultura project. You guys made, I think, 5 incubators and helped create 4 jobs. And then you guys also talked about additional jobs created, other ventures created. Are those what are those ventures dedicated to doing? Are they growing the quails, or help me understand that?
Okay, the 20 businesses emerged from the training sessions that Campion held on coal farming, because his business is not centered on coal breeding and farming. He also trains people on how to coal farm. So from the people that attended the workshops, that's where 20 people started their own coal farming businesses.
Okay, and that's without the use of the incubator, or with the use of the incubator?
No, he produced 5 incubators, and 3 of them were bought by some of the 20 people. but not all of them. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, hi. Help me understand, on your annual report, the cover has you at 12,000 and change hours dedicated. And then inside it says hours invested. I don't know if that means the same, but they don't add up. They're about 2,000 hours different. So I just was curious as to what the inconsistency is.
Thank you, sir, for that question. To further clarify on the hours invested, there are hours within the projects and other hours that we as teams did our research and everything that we do to put the projects in place. So those in the annual reports specifically for that project. Then other hours add up from what we did as a team.
Interesting.
I noticed on the Stella Commune there that you mentioned that there's the government sanctions the protection of the producer, that any damages made in transportation is borne by the buyer. Did you have any complaints from the buyers? They understand it's from the government, but have you received any complaints from the buyers on the quality of the fruit damaged during transportation?
Thank you for that question. Yes, there were incidences where buyers would refuse to pay because the fruits had been damaged during transportation, or they would have rotten during transportation. But then that's, according to the Zimbabwean law, that's not legal. So we made sure we empowered the community to know this, that once they put their fruits on the truck, it's now the responsibility of the company which came to buy to ensure that they transport the goods on time to wherever they're going.
Were there other communities like Wadyoka that are candidates for this sort of agreement as well?